And we are live. Welcome everybody to another episode of You Know What? Let me just say podcast. I am your host Ray. With me as always, we got Dion.
What's happening?
Brother D Brother Dion, how we doing today?
Good. Can't complain.
A lot of good shit came happened this week and a lot of bullshit that happened this week. So let's always we're gonna start with the wrestling. Fast Lane is this Sunday, and although I'm gonna pull up the card. Is there anything? Are you excited about Fastlane, or are you just waiting for WrestleMania?
Um, I'm kind of on the thing of I know the events of Fastlane are going to have some implications towards WrestleMania, so that's my real place of concern. Like, you know, I'm just- don't mind my son. But yeah, that's my only thing. Look at my earphone. Uh,
It's funny because I feel like Fastlane is probably from the fan standpoint, it's the least interesting card, and it's the card right before WrestleMania. I don't. It's funny. It should like I feel like it should get you excited for WrestleMania, but I always notice that a lot of people do not like their Fastlane pay per views. Is it?
it's
But maybe that's what I'm seeing.
the problem. The problem is that usually when you get these pay-per-views directly before your biggest show of the year, WrestleMania, you know what I'm saying? You would think the Fastlane matches would be more important than what they normally are. And that's the thing. The Fastlane fights usually be of next to no significance. It's like, okay, you know they're not going to give freaking that you know they're not going to make Roman Reigns take an L right before WrestleMania as champion. You know they're not going to do that to him. You know the moneymaker is Roman Reigns and Edge, not Daniel Bryan and Edge.
Right.
You know, there's almost 0 point in the tag team title match between Baszler and Jax versus Sasha and Bianca. You already know Baszler and Jax are going to retain.
I don't see. We'll get to that, but I was going to say this. I feel like as if you want to book Fastlane, especially when WrestleMania come up, I feel like this show it doesn't have to be better than WrestleMania, but good enough to say if you think this is good, wait until WrestleMania. That's how I feel like Fastlane should be booked. Not like a Royal Rumble, nor a SummerSlam, or a Survivor Series, but like when you see this, you be like, "Oh snap! If this is like I'm going to see on WrestleMania, then I'm definitely going to get my ticket." So that's
Right.
how I see. So
See,
let's
personally,
go ahead.
if it were me personally, there wouldn't even be a pay-per-view in between WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble. It'd be a Royal Rumble. It'd be instead of a full 2 months, no more than a 6 week wait, not a whole 8 weeks, not a whole 2 months. And then, throughout them 6 weeks, you're setting the stage for the rest of WrestleMania. Royal Rumble determines your main event for WrestleMania. That's how it should be. Leave it at that.
And for that, let's get to the card. I have the card. The Universal Championship is between Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. Who you got?
Roman Reigns retaining.
I do too. The Women's Tag Team Championship match: Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. Who you
Baszler
got?
and Jax retain.
I'm gonna also say Baszler and Jax retain, but I have a feeling that they're going to. I don't know why, and I feel like they're going to maybe lose it
They're
to
going to retain, but there's going to be some beef starting there. It's all the seed has already been planted for that.
for who? For who? For Nia or Bianca and Sasha?
Nia and Baszler are going to going to start resenting each other. That team is going to dissolve. The team that I think is going to dethrone them for the women's tag team championships. We just saw them jump down earlier tonight. Tamina and Natalia.
You
That's
think
the team that's going to take them belts.
you really think so?
And the reason they're going to take them belts is it's going to be because of the infighting between Nia and Shayna.
Yeah, but they've always been infighting.
No, not lately, not lately. This is going to restart it. That little accident Shayna Baszler had earlier, accidentally kicking Nia in the face, is going to restart it. But you know, they've been getting along.
All right. No. All right. WWE. Like I said, I don't trust WWE's booking for shit. So if that's how you said Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler gonna retain, I'm gonna also say that. Next, the Intercontinental match between Biggie versus Apollo Crews. Who you
This
got?
one I don't know. This one I don't know because we have this transformation of Apollo Crews, and then we have an enraged Big E.
I'm going with Big E, and I feel like I'm glad that we're getting a heel Apollo Crews, but I do not think they're going to give him a belt. I feel like Big E is very marketable, and like he is really bringing something to that
The
Intercontinental title,
the power of positivity is undeniable.
right? And
And
I
then you
love
know
this
what?
promo last week.
I am going to side with you on this with Big E simply because he's too good. I'm not, and this is nothing against Apollo Crews. I always liked Apollo Crews. I like the work he did in ring. I always thought his microphone work was shit.
But that's I
You're
feel like every smiling black guy, with the exception of the New Day, they're when they just the smiling black guy trope, it's always shit. Hey, I'm just here, try to do the best I can, try to be the best, out here. It's just no
But
personality.
see, here's the thing. You hit on exactly what I was just about to say. New Day had a legitimate gimmick. Every other black dude with the hyper like happy-go-lucky attitude was always so goddamn generic. They almost all of them damn near look. They acted the fucking same.
It's funny you say generic because that's what I called Apollo, generic black guy number three.
Who are generic black guys 1 and 2?
One and two was in one was who's the gay wrestler that was in
Darren Young.
yes. Darren Young was number one, Byron Sexton number two, Apollo Crews number three, and Titus O'Neil was
Byron
number four.
Saxton was so bad that they're really getting his ass to a ring announcer.
I had to remember my generic black guy order. And like Bobby Lashley's number five, but
Wait, then
I
who's
might
four?
take
Who's four? Who's four? Because you skipped
Titus
the number.
O'Neil.
Who's Titus? Oh yeah, yeah. And then
Titus
shoot, they need to do something with Titus because it's like he's one who had like what make her about. All right, but yeah,
I,
Titus is one of them who I feel like okay in ring, yeah, there was hella potential there. If you want to push another like good like power wrestler or whatever, but once the tag team he was a part of with Darren Young, Primetime Players fell apart. Like there was just nothing for him. There's just been nothing for him. The only significant moment he's had since then was the Titus World Slide incident.
Titus World Slide.
That's funny.
I was about to say, pat yourself on the back, Dion. I like that. Titus World.
That's literally the only significant thing Titus O'Neil has had going for him since. And like after that, it's just no one even. The sad part is, Primetime Players were actually had a good tag team championship run, and still people only you say Titus O'Neil, all anyone's going to think of is Titus World Slide.
Exactly. That's funny as hell. Okay.
As good as the Primetime Players were as a tag team, you say Titus O'Neil, Titus World Slide, and the other person's going to bust out laughing. That you probably heard my girl in the background.
Yeah. Also, I will say this: like during his heel run, Titus, Titus O'Neil actually had a personality. That's why I like the whole
Yes.
Titus Worldwide thing. Like he actually had a personality. So but he's still generic black guy number 4. But
Proceed with the rest of the fast lane card though.
yeah, let's get on to the next. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Who do you got right here?
Ooh, that one. Ooh, that's actually the one match I'm actually excited for, and I gotta give that one. I'm gonna give that to McIntyre.
You gonna give that to McIntyre?
Yeah, the one match I actually want to see out of the whole night, and that one I think McIntyre is gonna win.
All right. Father has done entered the chat. How are you doing, Father?
I'm good.
Okay, just to catch you up, we're going over the fast lane card. So, who you got with Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan?
Roman Reigns, of course. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
So that's 3 from across the board for Roman. That's unanimous decision.
Okay, Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler versus Bianca and Sasha.
I hope to God Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler win that match.
so that's also
Unanimous decision.
All right, and Biggie versus Apollo.
Biggie.
You go with Biggie?
Hold on. I gotta ask. I just gotta ask this question. There was some hesitation in answering that question, so I gotta ask about that. Sorry.
What?
It sounded like you was thinking about that one. What's going through your head with that match?
Because Apollo's on fire right now. But I need Big E to be champion for a little bit longer. At least until after WrestleMania.
Bad. I can feel that. I can feel that.
I'm the same way. I am the same way. Also, Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus.
Drew McIntyre, but you know what? I want Sheamus to win that match. If it was up to me, I'd have Sheamus win that match.
I think they're gonna beat the hell out of each other, but I'm going with Drew just because he got a match at WrestleMania against Bobby Lashley. So I'm gonna just go with that. Randy Orton versus Alexa Bliss.
I mean, is that
can we even call that a match? Because that's just
on the card.
That's just setting the stage for the revival of the Fiend.
It's on the card.
I mean,
they're building a story,
right? So it's just like I can't even, huh? I can't even. Regardless of who wins, the true victor is going to be the Fiend. But part of me wants to say Alexa Bliss simply because we know the Fiend is going to be returning at Fastlane. He's going to do something to Randy Orton. We don't know what, but he's definitely going to do something to Randy Orton.
I don't think he's going to appear at Fastlane. So, what about you, Father?
Alexa Bliss next.
I'm gonna also go with Alexa Bliss. So
unanimous there.
Okay, here's another one: Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman. Why is this a match?
What do you mean?
Why is Shane McMahon still fighting big people? Why is Braun Strowman is playing the role as Big Show, retarded Big Show? Which way did he go? Oh, Big Show. Why is this?
No, it's not that Braun Strowman is acting stupid. It's that Shane McMahon is just really good at making Braun Strowman look stupid. Because sometimes I was fucking laughing.
The same way Shane McMahon did Big Show. So
I still feel like this is a pointless match, though.
Shane is about to get thrown off of something. And then I'm going to enjoy it because Shane McMahon I like Shane McMahon matches.
You like seeing Shane McMahon get hurt. That's what really. You like seeing Shane McMahon get hurt. Let's be honest.
It's not that I like seeing Shane McMahon hurt. The motherfucker's a daredevil.
Yeah, he drops well. I like the way he drops.
To this day, the best fall ever is him versus Steve Blackman when he hit him with that kendo stick and he just he just trust falled into the fucking. That shit is just. Shaymin Man probably got at least 5 of the top 10 best falls in wrestling. You know I'm telling the truth.
The only reason I'm laughing as hard as I am is because I'm thinking about it, and you're right.
He's probably got something. I'm telling you.
Thinking back to some of the bumps that Shane has taken, and like, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Like him versus Kurt Angle, he was like, we're going through that fucking.
Yes.
And he threw him in that fucking guy. I was like, God damn, that shit looked like it really hurt.
There was him and Undertaker also. The Hell in a Cell between him and Undertaker.
And he jumped off. He didn't even get thrown off like Mick Foley. That man jumped off.
Like you said, he's a daredevil. But Shane is one of the motherfuckers. He'll take a hit. He doesn't care.
So
you want me to jump off what? Oh, why? Yeah. He doesn't care.
All right, so who do y'all have winning that match?
Braun Strowman.
I actually have Shane McMahon winning this match.
I'm giving that to Shane. Shane's gonna have some type of help, some type of backup in that or something. We know he can't take Braun straight up. It's gonna be a setup.
Okay.
I don't like if Braun Strowman wins. Like I don't mind being wrong with this one. Like, but I have this strange feeling like Shane McMahon's gonna win out of it. So
I have this strange feeling that Braun Strowman is going to kill Shane McMahon.
You wouldn't be far off. So any last words before we move on to our next topic?
Proceed.
So next topic. And I already forewarned Father about that we was going to talk about this, so he already knows this was coming up. We're going to be talking about our good old friend Kirk Franklin. So if you are a fan of Black Twitter and you don't anything, you know that Kirk Franklin has been trending because his son Kerrion Franklin recorded their conversation, and Kirk Franklin went the fuck off on his son, threatened to break his foot off in his ass, and other cuss words and niggas has been said there. Now
I need to know the build up to that conversation.
Hold on. Let me get to the question. Kirk Franklin also apologized for his actions. So, which, there's a lot of talk about black parenting and all that other stuff between like our generation and the generation before us, how they raised us and all that. So, 2 questions. Do y'all think he should have apologized?
No.
Damn. Do y'all think he should have apologized? And does this really discuss about the trauma between black parents?
Man, okay. First of all, Kirk Franklin's son, I'm sure, is what, like 20 something?
33. He's 33.
Hold up. This nigga's my age. Wait a minute. No. Hold up. No. You a grown ass man. No. Fuck that. No.
There are some people who's like, I don't care how old he is, a father should never talk to his son like that.
And then see, that's the other thing. I want to know what led to Kirk Franklin cussing him out the way he did. I'm sure Kirk Franklin, being a man of God that he is, wouldn't have went off on him and started cussing at him the way he did, unless he had legitimate reason.
Okay, Father, what do you think?
I would say that the situation with Kirk Franklin, like, I don't think people are really getting on him for cursing because, like, everybody curses.
Right.
So I just feel like him with his public image and everything and, like, the image that he portrays to the world, people, of course, they're going to be on that shit. Like, oh, my God, why is he cursing? But I think at the deeper layer, at the deeper level, it's like these are two people that obviously like there's an issue. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
things are gonna get heated if the issue is that is that deep. Things are gonna get heated, and people say things that they regret. Everybody does that shit. These people had a human moment, and we over there with a magnifying glass because these people are celebrities, and we forget their humanity, and then we act all shocked when something happens, and then they fall off the deep end or whatever. I'm not saying that Kirk Franklin's the type to do that, but we've seen it happen with other celebrities. So
Can I
I,
also point out the fact that this is not the first time Kirk Franklin has been a topic in the news or on social media or whatever, for doing or saying something?
Yeah, but this time it has nothing to do with porn.
I'm just I'm just throwing it out there just to add on to the fact that it reinforces what Father said. This man is still human. You, this ain't Kirk Franklin's first rodeo in terms of being a topic of discussion.
Sure. Go ahead, Father.
I mean, even with that being said, I feel like that shit's irrelevant because at the very end of the day, these are people living their lives. And, they're celebrities. So, of course, they're going to be put under a magnifying glass. They can't do shit. And then people going to sit there and try to project and make it seem like they don't do the same shit these people are doing. They just don't have a magnifying glass on, their lives. So they can just say whatever the fuck they want. So with this whole Kirk Franklin situation, I just want the issue to get solved. Fuck all that other shit. Fuck all that, speculating and trying to see what's going on and wanting to look for the backstory. How about let's just have them? Why don't we just wish them to solve the issue? Because they're father and son. Obviously, there was an issue we don't know about. We should encourage them to fix the issue instead of trying to fucking play Dr. Phil with every situation.
I'm not trying to play shit. I'm just curious.
Okay, first thing, I thought the memes were funny, like especially like them making Kirk Franklin turn into Plies, and I thought a lot of
Yeah,
those
that shit was funny.
that
That's
shit
been
is
a running
hilarious.
joke for years
And
about how
even
Kirk
I'm
Franklin
not
and
even going
Plies
to
look alike.
yeah,
First of all,
and I'm not even going to front. The first time I was sent that video and I heard Kirk Franklin curse out his son, I laughed. I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh, but I laughed because I was like, he must have, because you must have pulled something out for him to go off on you, and I still feel
thank
like
you.
um, I still feel like he probably said or did something because he did say "I dare you," so obviously, um, that set him off, and I'm pretty sure, like I said, there was like a 2 hour conversation from what you heard for like 15 or 30 seconds of a conversation from a conversation. Obviously, it was 2 hours long, so. That's what I'm saying. Do I feel like he was wrong for cursing his son out? No. People get angry. You don't realize when you get angry, you're gonna say or do some shit that probably out of pocket and all that other stuff. I feel like I said, we're human. We make mistakes like that. If he was a kid though, I would probably like feel different about it because I don't feel like you should be that type of cursing. You shouldn't do that to kids. And this is coming from a knucklehead. I've been a knucklehead myself, but at the same time, I don't feel like no grown man should be cursing no kid out like that, like calling him a bitch ass nigga or something like that. Now I know, like there are some fathers that have done that to most sons and all that other stuff, but coming from here, I feel like father said, they need some therapy and they need help. But also it showed that the way people raise kids. They was talking about this, how older people don't really care about young people's feelings and the whole generational gap between how like you should be raising a child and all that other stuff. Like Steve Harvey said, and I will say too, there are times when like as a teenager, and I don't know if y'all did it. I know like people in my I know people that have done this. Like every once in a while, when you get to like an age like 16 or like when you're an adult, you get to smell yourself a little bit, and then like you going to challenge your father. So like this shit happens all the time. I feel like as I don't know what it is about. I'm not gonna say this generation, but us as human beings, we tend to like ignore some of the human nature of humans. Like I feel like that shit is just regular. that you're going to challenge your father some one way or another. Either it's a very healthy way, like let's say basketball, or like I used to challenge my father in chess all the time. Or then there are unhealthy ways where it gets to the hands and the fisticuffs and the toxic ass cursing and all that stuff. So I feel like this is just human nature. Like you're going to challenge your father. You like especially when you start getting your mind of your own, you start thinking it's like your father, like you and your parents are never going to see the way things are. Like especially like with the way economy is now, and we'll probably get to that conversation later. But to me, this is like one. This is family business. We shouldn't be even in there. We should, like Father said, we should hope they should get better. And two, I feel like everybody is, especially like people in our generation, are not really focusing on the son that much because I feel like you shouldn't have like if this is family business, that should stay family business. You shouldn't be putting your family people out there. It's just, and that's just how I feel. Like that shit should have stayed private. Like we shouldn't know that you and your father are having troubles. Like, but that's how I feel about it. We got any last words before we move on to our next topic?
Nah.
No. Okay, so with that being said, and I'm hearing this, and I've been seeing this at least this week from a lot of older generations because we people see stuff like this. And I was watching sports, and a coach was like yelling at one of his players and all that other stuff. So, and a lot of people had a problem with some of the way the older people kind of like handle people in our generation. So, and the older generations thinking that we've gotten soft. So, I'm gonna ask you, y'all brothers, do you feel like this generation is soft as the
No.
old heads will put it?
Well, no, I don't. I won't call it something. I think they just different. It's like I said before. It's a whole new generation now. They're gonna do shit different. They're gonna come up with shit different. Like we're literally in a different generation. So I don't know why people are so still bent on doing the shit their way. It was their way back in the day because it was their generation. So to try to like apply that to the generation now, that shit ain't gonna work. So if it's not working, then you should change it. You know what I'm saying? You should do it you should do it in a way that everybody will benefit from. Because if your objective is to, help these kids or your objective is to teach them the right way, then you have to teach them in a way that they're gonna understand. You know what these motherfuckers are doing right now? These old heads, they're taking the square brick and they're trying to put it in the circle in the circle. It's not gonna fit. You know what I'm saying? This shit is updated now. You got to use the circle now.
Mm.
Yeah. I just feel like they need to just stop what they're doing and listen to the generation that they're trying to reach. If you're not listening to them, then you don't know how to approach them. You don't know how to engage with them. You just gotta listen.
Dion, what about you?
See, I've always believed in the saying of how people fear what they don't understand, and they dislike what they can't control. And I think that saying plays a role in this particular topic of discussion right here is just different times, whole new generation, different mentalities towards certain things. So you got these older folks, and there's no disrespect to them because okay, it was, I guess, how they were raised, how they view the world, how they saw things, whatever. you know they're they're stuck in their ways. So when they see something different from what they're used to, what they know, whatever, they're going to respond a certain kind of way. That's when you get the whole, oh, back in my day, this is how we handled XYZ. This is how we dealt with so and so. You know what I'm saying? That's where all of those discussions start coming in. It's what I think it is it's something different. So the older folks, they're trying to, like, I guess, write it off as weakness, when in reality it's just something different. It's not something they're used to seeing simply because it's something they haven't experienced.
One of the main things I don't like about that particular generation is how they glorify suffering. That is the number one thing I don't like about their fucking generation. They glorify suffering as if it's something that just like, yeah, in a way, everybody is gonna suffer to get better at some things, but these motherfuckers sitting here talking about you gotta work 60 hours minimum wage and shit like nobody's gonna do that shit. That's not this generation. We're not doing
No.
that shit.
Oh, see, motherfuckers back then could survive off of a job that paid $7, $8 an hour and this, that, and the third. You could survive off of that shit way back in, 50, 60, whatever the fuck era you grew up in. That we, late 90s, 90s, 2000s, up to now. Oh no. Oh no. Cost of living on motherfucking skyrocketed and some more shit done happened. It's a lot of motherfuckers who's working multiple jobs and still can't afford to do certain shit simply because you got to work them two jobs just for the sake of surviving. Never mind progressing to do anything really constructive. You're working them two jobs just for the sake of having enough money to keep a roof off your head and motherfucking food in your system and keep the lights on. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Back, 40, 50 years ago, yeah, you could work a job that ain't paid but, $5, $6, $7 an hour and still afford to do whatever the fuck you want. Not today, motherfucker.
I remember a conversation I had with one of my exes, and it was like, if we, hypothetically speaking, if I ever have a child, how would I discipline her? And it's like, would you, if she does something bad, would you whip her? And I remember telling her that I don't think whippings work. Now, I've gotten whippings my whole life. Like I said, I was a knucklehead, and like I know, like I'm one person and all that other stuff, but at the same time, it's just like I've seen other people who's just like who like taken a bunch of weapons and they still do the same dumb shit that they're always doing. So me, I feel like weapons don't work, and like I've always hated one thing. Like Father said, he didn't like about the struggle. I've always hated because the one thing I've always hated about the older generation is that you never explain your kids the actions. Like I understand the whole thing about staying in the child's place, but I feel like you do got to explain your kid like why are you doing things, like why are things to be done. Now, if you don't have the answers, that's one thing you don't have the answers. But this like just for saying like because I said so, which is I've always hated that. It's just like I'm not trying to. Half the times, I just want to know why. Maybe I can like learn about like what are you doing and all that other stuff. So, and because I always feel like the generation before us never really prepared us for the world, knowing when it comes to government or parenting in general. Like I remember when they say when you 18, you just kick them out the house. It's like they don't know. Like most people don't know like where to start or what they're going to do with their life and all that other stuff. And like I know Father said like like America's like the only country where you would kick a kid out in the house, where like other countries like unless you like you're capable of living on your own, you stay with your parents. I feel like in this generation we're not soft. I just feel like we're just trying to figure out other things to discipline, because obviously, like to me, when it comes to discipline, I feel like whippings don't work. I feel like if you explain to a child like what they're doing wrong, then they will learn not to do it again. Now, if they're hard headed, maybe you do have to go that further and discipline them. But most people, you really don't have to get that far. I've seen people like for little shit give their child's whipping, and I'm like, that's no reason to whip them. It's like you could have easily talked to them before that. So it's like I said, I'm in between, but I don't think this generation is soft. But at the same time, I do think like there are some times where I feel like even in this generation, there's times we do have to toughen up. And I know this generation don't like the term manning up. I've always defended manning up but at the same time, I've always said, like I said, the older heads never really like give you guidance or direction. They just tell you to do stuff and just go, just figure it out. Like they don't give you no tips, they don't give you no advice or none of that, unless it's about women. But other than that, when it comes to like life and when it comes to like knowing how to check balance a check or like bills and all that other stuff, I feel like we just thrown like we're just thrown into the fire, and it's just like wait, you ain't never explained to us, and then they just say figure it out. I did.
Yeah,
I
gee,
never like,
thanks.
huh?
I'm
Gee,
saying,
thanks.
gee, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Okay, you figured it out. Now pass on what the fuck you learned. Don't just
yeah,
throw us out here. Not everyone is going to grasp certain things. You know, trial by fire doesn't work for every motherfucking body.
and that's what I'm saying. It's just like you could at least like give them some advice or something. Like a lot of old heads do not do that, or they'll just keep it to themselves, or they'll tell you like the game's to be sold and not told. It's just like, and then once you figure stuff out, it's like, why couldn't you tell me this before? It's like I should be more prepared. I feel like in this generation, and when we pass out to our kids, I feel like we're trying to break, especially this generation, we're trying to break old traditional curses that doesn't work anymore for this time and this generation. I feel like we're gonna. I do feel like this millennial era, we're gonna be the change in things, and even the generation after us, we're gonna be the change in things because we seeing that a bunch of old shit doesn't really work for this time. So we gotta like uh take what's good from the old, because there's still old advice in my opinion. There's still old advice that I feel like it still holds up, but I do feel like there's some like things that they don't even know that we had to figure out, and then like we got to teach our kids. I just hope that this generation will be teaching our kids and like we could be doing better, because I've always said I feel like the boomers and the boomer generation, they haven't done shit for the next generations. Like they done fucked us over economically and maybe even mentally. Because there's, to me, I feel like even some of the boomers are the reason like some of these people are suffering from depression. Now that's a hot take. Now take it how you want. Like I still got love for my whole ass. Like I still respect my elders, because when there's good game, you are going to soak in good game. But when it's some bullshit, and they will feed you some bullshit, you will know that it's bullshit. You have something to say, Father?
I guess the only thing that I could say at this point is that people like the point of life is to try. You know what I'm saying? Like just to live in, your circumstances and the environment that you're in. Like you just gotta find a way to live a life that's like, ensuring to you, that benefits you. So just hearing these old failed motherfuckers sitting there talk about what we supposed to be doing, like that shit ain't gonna work no more. And I think one thing about this generation is that we straight up gonna tell you it doesn't work. We're not gonna do that whole, oh, we gotta humble ourselves in front of, our elders and stuff. It's like to a certain degree, to a certain point, I agree. I come from an African background. That shit is huge in our community. But if it's wrong, I'm going to tell you it's wrong because it hasn't solved the problem. You talking about motherfuckers that have been working all their life and they still in the same place and they're about to retire and you're still in the same place. I don't have to listen to you because you haven't provided that framework for me to succeed. So I'm just
Right.
going to do what is going to benefit me. And if I succeed, then fine. And if I fail, I dust myself off and I try again. But like they make it seem like you're lazy if you're, taking a break just to assess things, or you don't have like a 60-hour work ethic. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nigga, that's slave ethic. Motherfuckers just get it done in like what, 10, 20 hours, they can go to sleep. You over there working yourself like a slave, you still in the same spot. So I ain't trying to hear that. That's all I got to say.
It's funny you say that, because like half of the stuff they did, it like took hours to do. It's like it only takes 10 minutes for us to do.
Max, bruh, like we do shit so quickly now. I don't understand why we still have like 40-hour work weeks. Like we can literally reduce our hours and still be fine.
I've said that, and I've seen like jobs doing that. Like instead of having like 5 day weeks, they have 4 day, but they still get paid like a 5 day week. Or it's just like they'll cut some hours short. It's like if you, because I was like this in the Navy, because like they always wanted to see you working, but in my shop it was like half of the stuff we get done before lunch. So sometimes we're
Right.
just sitting there like on our ass and some shit like that. It's like might as well just let us go. We got our work done, but you just want to look good because it's like we work hard. It's just like we do, but like the shit is just done quicker.
Yeah,
Like
some problems don't require hard work.
yeah,
There's that too. Like if you're working at a fucking fast food restaurant, there is no reason niggas should be working 9 hour shifts.
exactly.
Like for what fucking reason? Actually hire people, pay them a living fucking wage, and then let them do the job that you're paying them for. We have room for everybody in society. Bruh.
It's funny you say that. Also, Mitch McConnell, fuck you because like I don't understand like maybe because he's just a rich white man and maybe but if everything is going up with housing, renting, everything is inflating going up and all people ask is for $15 an hour for minimum wage. It's like why would you deny that? Unless you want to get money from yourself, you don't want to pay no extra taxes, which you probably don't because I'm pretty sure white like a lot of y'all know how to like cheat the tax system like Donald Trump did. Like,
Right.
what is wrong with giving people a livable wage? We're not even asking for like a ridiculous amount. They're asking for a livable wage, and you keep denying that. I don't understand the problem with that.
It's
So,
profit over everything. That's what they want. Because everything is so privatized in America. That's why them motherfuckers don't pay taxes.
right.
I actually
Uh,
had a conversation um with a buddy of mine, coincidentally white dude I'm friends with. Had a whole conversation about the adverse effects of capitalism and how capitalism actually does the exact same thing to society that America accuses the fucking communists of. Again, lengthy conversation. I'm not going to go into detail, but you know,
any last words before we move on to our final topic?
It's not working. So we gonna change it. Shit.
Hey, man, we're like what works for y'all doesn't work for us. So
Don't work.
if
obviously, we're gonna try to find something that works for us. All right. So now into our final topic, and this one father done sent me like Biden calls on the Congress to swiftly pass COVID-19 hate crimes act. Now, if y'all been seeing in the news, there was like 8 Asian women, and I heard there was like a one Latina and one white woman that also got killed at like what was it? Not a brothel, but it was like
It was
a
like an
spot.
Atlanta
one
spot.
one of them massage parlors or whatever.
Okay, it was a massage parlor, and like we're seeing all this stop Asian hate, and I know we done talked about the black and the Asian community on that, but like you seeing all this stop Asian hate, and you seeing like people protesting, and then you got Joe Biden trying to swiftly pass the COVID-19 hate crimes. Do you feel, gentlemen? How do y'all feel about everything that's been conspiring?
All right. So I'll start this one then. When it comes to, I wanna touch on the whole thing of how supposedly blacks and Asians could rally together against white supremacy and shit like that. I'm not entirely sure, and the reason I say that is this: Asians, they've gone through this shit, but I feel like compared to the crap that other races of people, primarily blacks and your Native Americans, you know, they haven't had it as bad for
Nah,
starters.
okay, they didn't have it as bad as black people, but there was times when like if you was even Asian looking, they put you in this camp. It was like back in the 40s or some shit. Oh,
Before
during World War II or some shit.
before you
But
continue, before you continue, and Ray, it's called it was internment camps. I think you're talking about.
Yeah, internment
Yeah.
camps.
So before you continue, Dion, I don't think we should make it like a comparison thing. That's all I'm gonna say.
mhm. But the other thing I was going to say is we as blacks have been fighting for, equality and fair treatment and all of that for how long? And, for the past little while, we've kind of been at a standstill. And what also seems to be happening a lot, and Father, you yourself touched on this, how the struggles of blacks in America get co-opted and even undermined by all these other demographics and whatever's happening with them. So I feel like, on one hand, yeah, all attacking anybody, based on any whatever form of bias, racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, all that shit is wrong. Period. There's no place or nor excuse for that shit in no way, shape, or form. If we're going to, if Black America is somehow going to have a hand in what's happening with the Asians, as long as it doesn't undermine the bullshit that we've been trying to fix for Black America to have a fighting fucking chance. We can't lose ourselves. Black America can't lose itself and someone else to struggle again.
Father is on you.
I just want to read a part from the. I just want to read a part from the article that I sent you. I urge Congress to swiftly pass the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act, which would expedite the federal government's response to the rise of hate crimes exacerbated during the pandemic. So support state and local governments to improve hate crimes reporting and ensure that hate crimes information is more accessible to Asian American communities. Biden continued. Now, one thing that I've noticed from that one little segment of the article is that there was a specific group mentioned, the Asian American communities. Now, me personally, I don't have a problem with this because if Asian people are getting attacked, then they should do things in order for them to stop that and to find a solution. So this is absolutely no problem whatsoever. But when we see things like this as Black people, you just have to understand that they're purposefully not giving you the shit that you need. They're purposefully not listening to us, and they're purposefully undermining us, and they're using Asians and they're using Hispanics and they're using LGBT to do all of that. And when we say this, we get called crazy, we get called bigoted, we get called like all these names under the sun, but it's literally happening right there. I just read what Biden said. He specifically mentioned Asian communities. So the problem is that now you know the truth. Now Black folks know the truth. It doesn't matter what Black conservatives say. It doesn't matter what Black liberals say. It doesn't matter what any of them people say that try to deny this shit. It is literally right here in your face. And people want to sit there and fucking twerk on the streets when they're protesting and then celebrate Kamala Harris as if she's going to do something specifically to benefit Black people, which she said she's not going to do. And I'm just sitting here and I'm just watching Negroes get it wrong over and over and over and over again for some trinkets. While, shit is happening to other communities, they say something, they get it immediately. It took you 400 motherfucking years. It took us 400 years. Asians get it like that. So at this particular point in time, I don't know what people want to do with this information. I don't know how we're going to move from this, but all I know is this is the proof right here. That's literally it right there. There's nothing more to discuss. All these little stupid ass conversations we've been having for the past 30 to 40 years about America this and America that, and solidarity with the different races of people, which we all tried and then failed after failure after failure. Like, I don't know if y'all seeing what I'm seeing, but shit.
What you said and I said kind of play into one another. So we out on this shit.
I was the look as I totally agree with Father, and I've been saying this. Black women and black men, we done put that man in office. If it wasn't for us, he probably wouldn't have been in office. We would have had 4 more years between.
I ain't vote for this motherfucker. Wait a minute.
I look,
Sorry. Sorry, but I just had to.
but you know what I'm saying. Like black men,
Yeah.
like the people that like we was 80%. Black women was like 90%. Putting them in there. All right. So basically, like I do feel like now, shout out to the Asian people and to stop Asian hate. I do not have a problem with what they're doing. Like Father said, if there's a problem, they should get it solved, and that's what they're doing. But I feel like we're following that same road that Obama, like black people with Obama. Like I said, I didn't like the whole, when the LGBT was asking for gay marriage, they got it. Shout out to them. I was for gay marriage, and I said we should be more like them. Put your foots on their necks so we can get what we need, so we can be in a better spot for our community. The gay people, the LGBT was asking for gay marriage. They got it. They kept their foots on their neck to the point where he was passing other laws. I feel like this is happening again. Like, don't get me wrong. Symbolism is one thing. Like we got a first black female president. If for those that call her black, and I know some people is going to call her Indian or a person of color, but this is what I'm saying. Like we need to get our shit, and we need to give it to Joe. He fucking owes us, and I don't care what anyone say. I know people gonna be like, Joe don't owe you shit. Bullshit. He owes black people for getting him in the office. We need to bring like whatever it is we need fixed. I don't care if it's one thing. We need to get that fixed. Like you already seeing what the Asians and they're doing, and also for the media, I don't know why you're putting black people into this when there was a white man that shot. He's like, you should be asking the white people, like, what should be doing to allies with the Asians. I don't know what that the fuck that got to do with black people, but okay. It's like, okay, you're the media, do you? I feel like like I always said, and like the meme says, there's got to be a reason to blame black man for this, and for some reason, like it's happening again, and like I don't want to see that. So I'm just going to say, like, you're seeing what the Asians are doing. They're getting the shit that they need. We still don't. We still don't even like. We still can't even get Breonna Taylor's killers in a fucking trial. Derek Chauvin is somewhere in Florida, like somewhere, and Black Lives Matter have $90 million, and I don't know if any of that is going back to the community or not. We need to fix some shit. Anybody else got something to say?
Bro, like it's so interesting watching everything because everything that we have been saying is happening. Every single thing that we have been saying is happening. I kept telling people if you keep trying to help out these little groups, they're gonna leave you out in the shoulder. Y'all are not the same. I was proven correct. And the real funny thing is there's still gonna be people that are going to deceive themselves and lie to themselves as if this is something that, oh, all we need to do is just help everybody out and then the problem will be solved. Like, no, nobody has that type of energy for us. You know what I'm saying? When Fred Hampton did the whole Rainbow Coalition thing, he got assassinated. I ain't see any of those other groups take up the mantle that he put down. It was always black folks. When Martin Luther King got assassinated, same thing happened. Before he died, he even said that he was integrating his people into a burning house, got assassinated. I ain't see any other group take to heed his teachings until it was to spite us, for us to fight for them. And we keep getting okey doke and okey doke and okey doke, and now people want to look at us like we ain't shit. Like, nah, fight your battles. We cool.
Hold your own nuts. Hold your. Okay. Any last word before we get to our final thoughts?
Yeah, hold your own nuts.
Hold your, hold your own nuts.
And
And I want to say, like, I have nothing against the Asian community to stop Asian hate. I understand why y'all doing it. I'm just saying, like, we're just as a black man and seeing our black people, we're just tired of getting crumbs. And it like we're not mad at the Asians for getting what they need. That's what they're supposed to do. But we need to get ours too, and not just crumbs. Like we need a big slice of that cake, and that's what I'm saying. All right, now, gentlemen, we are going to get in our final thoughts, and starting with Dion.
mm, final thoughts. Final thoughts. I was wondering if you were gonna bring up what's his name? Kevin Samuels and the whole fail to launch discussion he had. I was wondering if that was gonna be a topic tonight. Um,
Uh, you talking about the video I sent a couple days ago?
yeah,
If you want
yeah.
to
I
talk
was
about
wondering if
that,
that
you
was
can
gonna
talk
be
about it.
a yeah. See, this I agree with some of what he said, and by some I mean a very, 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 very small amount. But for the most part, a lot of the stuff that came out of his mouth, as per the usual, was a bunch of bullshit. Because, see, this goes to what I said a moment ago about how, you know, old niggas stuck in their ways and shit like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he he's speaking from the mentality of, the old head, talking down on a younger guy for being in whatever situation, not knowing there's probably some shit going on that's beyond the younger dude's control. It's and see it. I guess you could say it pisses me off a little bit just for the simple fact of speaking from experience of being that guy, trying to trying to get from under his parents and then you know being on my own for a while and shit going around and being forced to go back. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone's situation is the same. When you talk about, oh, this dude is, X amount of years old and ain't got shit. This dude is, mid 20s, 30, whatever, and still lives with his mother and father or whatever the, fucking case may be. You know, t- times change. What doesn't get talked about when you talk about things like that is exactly why a person can't afford to live on their own. What doesn't get talked about is what past generations did that led to younger generation having to do this, that, and the third in order to survive. No one talks about the bullshit decisions of the motherfucking the Nixon and the Reagan and Bush Senior and Clinton and those eras. You know what I'm saying? That got people fucked up now. There's a lot of shit that got passed in them eras that I just described. That yeah, it looked and sounded lovely on motherfucking paper, but no one thought about the long term motherfucking consequences, and I did that. And now you got nerve to talk about, oh, back in my day, or at my age, or whatever, I already had this, I already had that. Again, you could afford to live off of, single digit motherfucking paychecks at one point in time. That shit don't work for us no more. Inflation, motherfucker, can you see it? And that's all I got to say about that.
Father is on you.
So I'm actually going to piggyback off what Dion said for a little bit. And another reason that I think gets overlooked is culture. There are literal cultures, like in America, when you're 18, you're a child. But in my culture and in other ethnic cultures, you are still a motherfucking child. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the like that kind of dichotomy, it's totally normal for like a 24, 25-year-old person to be living with their parents in our cultures. You know what I'm
And then,
saying? Like,
right, and then see that's the other thing too. Like you're not gonna have your life together at 18, 19, 20, 21. You fresh out of motherfucking high school, on your way to college, probably just enlisted with the military. You're still trying to figure out the fuck you want to do with yourself. You know what I'm saying? So what are they? What do they want from us?
To
What
get
do they
out,
expect of us?
to get out their house.
well, then
and
fix the economy, then maybe I can.
and do thank you. Get out your house and do what? The way I don't want to, as bad as I want to say, the way my bank account is set up. You know what I'm saying? The way the economy is set up. Get out your house and do what, nigga? Get out your house and go where? Yeah, a motherfucker might already have a job once he's in his teens. That's not enough to do shit. Most motherfuckers at 18, 19, whatever, hell, 20, 21 to mid 20s. You working at somebody restaurant, somebody fast food joint, some minimum wage bullshit. Still trying to figure out exactly what the fuck you want to do with your goddamn life. So it's like I'm sorry, having everything figured out by whatever age is impossible. And again, for a motherfucker who at damn near 30, I was forced to move, you know, I was forced to live with my mother all over the fuck again. And it wasn't the first time. Two different occasions I was out on my own. Shit went sour. Went back with my mother. Tried it again, but this time I had my girl with me. Had my son. Shit started to go downhill again. I was supposed to come back with my mother once again. You don't know what the fuck life is going to do to you. So, in all actuality, just being blunt, the whole failure to launch discussion, it's bullshit. It's really genuinely bullshit.
Mm.
You still got more to say, Father?
You know, I don't like. It's not that I hate Kevin Samuels. It's not that he's so outdated when it comes to certain things. I just
Stuck
have
in his ways.
disagreement.
Stuck
Yeah,
in,
I
all
just
head stuck
disagree
in
with
his
a lot of
ways.
what he got to say. But other than that, like if it's helping people out, then it's gonna show. If it's not, then it's not. But that's it. But I guess for my final words is I just want to take time to thank marijuana. I want to thank weed because if it wasn't for this motherfucker, bro, I would have lost my mind.
Why y'all watching Pokemon? Sorry, it's all with my girl.
And I just wanna shout that out real quick. I I'm grateful. I'm just grateful.
uh, I just want to say, give a shout out to some of the Black Grammy winners like Robert Glasper, Kate Trinata, Meg Thee Stallion, Beyonce. I know she tied the record for like most Grammy wins from an artist. Is and I think someone else black won, but John Legend. I know John Legend won another Grammy. So congratulations to all the black people that won Grammys. And also, I'm just gonna say this. I would say this like I I'm basically beating a dead horse when I say this. I feel like we're stronger when we're together. We should not be arguing over dumb shit like some of the stuff that like I've seen people argue over, and like I hope this generation does a better job than our last generation because I still do think I know a lot of people say we're in a better place than we are before, but there are still some things that like in this economy is fucked up, and if 2020 and 2021 have not taught you that, then like I don't know what the fuck. So I would like to thank the panel for jumping on once again. I would like to thank for y'all listening to hear us talk our shit again. This is You Know What? Let me just say podcast, and I'm signing out. Peace.
Adios.